James,
Hello.
how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How about you?
Very good, very good. Thanks for doing this. Thanks for finding time.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, where to begin? You are into video and audio production?
Yes. I
Yeah,
specialize in filmmaking and mainly through interacting with the
cool.
cameras and the visual aspects of a film.
Yeah, I like how you say visual aspects of the film. There are so many different aspects.
Visual aesthetics is maybe a better way to put that.
Visual. Ah, no, I think last time I don't know you said or someone else visual identity of the film.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Now movies also identify. They identify visually as an anime. How about that?
Yes.
Or as a real um, motion picture. Now AI is taking over. Yeah, will be
Yeah.
by the
Not
looks
yet.
of it.
Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah. So you have a job for another few years.
For
Yeah.
now.
But then no, somebody has to control AI as well. Like there will be
Mm.
a lot of prompting and like explaining the camera angle and everything. So they say almost like you will be like doing a sample shoot with the actor, and then you can on just that sample shoot you can train the model, and then basically you say thank you to the actor. You
Mm.
can go home now, and we will shoot the rest with AI, something like that. But somebody will have to explain what the frame should look like, right? So like you coming from this angle and the character is doing this, or you have to kind of at least like animate it in some sense. I think they did it. Actually, I looked at. I think it was how they filmed Mad Max. I think it was like 3D models, like a very primitive, like a dummy um, puppets, like moving and like um, how can I say, like doing almost like tricks or like falling down or like doing some kind of like movements, and then they would kind of based on that model, like they pre-model it, like very. It was like a handmade. It wasn't like rendered video or anything like this,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
they kind of position the characters where they want them to see, and then they show that kind of 3D motion picture to everyone on set, so they understand where the camera should be, how the actors should move, and stuff like that. So I think maybe in future they will use something similar, but then characters will be rendered on top by AI.
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah,
It definitely makes sense. I know in the
yeah,
animation industry they are implementing like ways to make AI work with the artist, like maybe in like Hood in 3D, the AI to like auto pose a character, like you move a bone into a position and then the AI will take the rest of the body and make it into a natural position. This is what I've seen done. It's pretty cool, and yeah, it
oh
has its
wow.
uses.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting. And exciting at the same time. So I think you know how
Yeah,
people say, "Oh, soon we'll be all out of jobs because of AI." For the software developers, for which actually for our job, I would say right now the impact is the biggest. Yeah,
yeah,
because it generates 100% valid code, and you can just take it, copy paste it, and it just works. It's just super reliable, and it knows everything. It knows all the code bases, so it gives you like the best practice as well. You need to learn how to prompt it, but right now I would say it's the most exciting time to be the developer because you are 2 to 3 times um, faster, more knowledgeable, if you know how to use it. Yeah. So it's not making us jobless yet. It makes us more busy. It's challenging us, obviously, because we need to prompt and learn how to work with it. But it's also at the same time very exciting. So maybe movies industry in a way will be, especially in your profession, because you're not an actor. Yeah. So
yeah.
you will be actually doing the working the tools, and it just becomes one of your tools. Did you do much with the cameras before?
Yes, I have
Like were you
my own
shooting?
cam. I have my own camera, and for the 2.5 years I've worked at uni, I have used a wide range of cameras. for different projects here and
Hmm.
there. I've even been able to use
What's your camera?
the camera I have is a Sony A7 III, which is a very decent
Hmm.
hybrid camera, which I have a zoom lens and a stabilizer for, which I'm able to easily do videography on my own
Yeah.
side.
Okay.
I've also experienced with
It's a video camera. Yeah. Hmm.
it is a video camera, and then I also have experience with the Blackmagic pocket cinema camera and the Sony PXW X70, which is a documentary, which is a film camera normally used in documentary filmmaking. And then recently, I have become attuned to the not the Mirror, but there is another Blackmagic camera I used on set for my capstone project, which is like my large project, filmed at minimum 4K
Hmm.
resolution for a VFX project.
Wow. Wait. So there are cameras just for documentaries? Like, what are the characteristic of
Um,
camera
I label it as
would
a
you use
documentary.
for
I
this
label it
kind of
as a
movie?
documentary camera because it is a camera that is easily accessible, films in a good format, and is easily conversable with. The X70 is a very compact design. You can add a lens, you can add whatever you want to it, and it films at a very high
Yeah.
standard, even without anything else attached to it, which you can, but it's not exactly necessary. It's kind of like it kind of looks like your traditional film camcorders, but like it's much larger. It has a
Yeah.
bunch of features that makes it a lot better.
Yeah. But I mean, like, how would you shoot differently a documentary rather than just a normal movie?
A documentary, um, large majority of the time, you have no idea how it's going to turn out. Like with normal films, you have planning, you have the story, you have this and that. But with documentary, the only thing you have is a basic idea and where you're going to shoot it. So you have to shoot for quantity majority of the time. Like you have to like depending on what
Uh
the film
huh.
you have to create, you have to film as
Uh
much as
huh.
you can here and there. And then once you enter into more of a post production stage, you start putting it together. Then you can like go back, or you can start creating a story from there. From what all you can imagine, you can start with one
Yeah.
idea, and then
Uh,
as you continue filming it, it's a completely different idea.
yeah. Okay. And the usual movie, you can have like different takes, like,
Yeah.
oh, this didn't work, we shoot it again and shoot it again, shoot again. So with
Hmm.
documentaries, you have like a lot of material. I know because I just watched the two very famous documentaries now. One is What Is a Woman, and another one is
Hmm.
Am I Racist?
Ah, yeah.
It's my last documentaries, and like that's how he explained it. Basically, they had so much material, like hundreds of hours or something,
Hmm.
and then it's just like selecting the scenes and putting them together. Yeah.
I think it's similar. I think what's similar is that
Okay.
documentary filmmaking and actual like real filmmaking with the story involved, they always collect like huge amounts of folders, but also how they approach them in post is different as well. Like in film, you know how you're going to take it and put it together. You've created storyboards, but with documentary filmmaking, not only do you have less takes of the same thing, but you also have a lot of things
Yeah.
that may not be relevant, and that has to take into consideration as well.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So it's just like getting rid of all the garbage, basically. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. Interesting. Are you still in the uni?
I am still in uni for the moment. I am graduating next February, and my final project
Yeah.
should be
Okay.
released mid December.
Oh, wow. Is it going to be a movie?
It's a short VFX project.
What's the effects? I'm not familiar.
So I joined as the main filmmaker and director for what was originally like a VFX animation capstone project, and I helped turn
Oh,
that like
VFX. Did you say
yeah,
VFX?
VFX. Sorry, but yes, what was gonna
What
just
does it
turn
stand for?
visual FX, where like FX like EFFECT is just shortened down to FX. So it's visual FX.
Ah, okay.
Mm. And what was originally supposed to be a portfolio piece I think I helped assist it
Yep.
into a story with proper story structure and like I said, visual identity. Kind of stands out as its own PSA, as an
Mhm.
anti-war PSA.
Yep. Okay. I think Australia is now shooting more and more. Yeah. I think there is a lot more TV series in production now. Some good movies. Would you say it's how is the movie industry looking in Australia? Is like, do you have
The movie,
are you optimistic looking at it?
I'm optimistic looking at it. I mean, less for myself, more as a whole, but um, I think Australia's always had a bit of a big industry, not as large as others, but it's definitely had a substantial industry. It's always had, even in the early '90s, it's had like a unique style of films of like just
Hmm.
as a way to
Hmm.
describe it's just chaos and using its landscape to communicate a story. And I think recently other filmmakers are still using that landscape to this day to communicate a story. Like take Mad Max, they still film on Australian soil. But recently, there
Hmm.
has to be definitely been some more revelations into getting more Australian-based projects out. Like a lot more independent studios and animations are getting out. Perth is building a film center, like a film and production center with a bunch of like large green screens up north, and that's going to become a huge hub
Hmm.
for a lot more jobs and whatnot. I think in general we're getting a lot of
Yeah.
popularity and recognition.
Nice. But Mad Max was filmed here, but was it just American crew and everything, or a lot of Australians
Uh,
participate in it?
The original, I to my imagine, the original did have a lot of Australian cast. Now I think it does have a bit more American cast, but it is. I would say it's probably an American movie nowadays, shot on on Australian soil.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I'm talking not about cast, but more of like a production itself, like video, like cameraman, special
Mm.
effects, all those. Like, are they like, do Australians take big part in it? Like, do we have expertise, or like it's not comparable to America?
I can only assume because a lot of the film is shot on Australia, they would have to employ a lot of Australian filmmakers. Like it's not uncommon for a production to split its units by which city it's filming in. So I would so by my best guess,
Yeah.
yes, they would employ a lot of Australian filmmakers.
Okay. Okay. How did you get into videos and movies? Like, were you always loving
Um,
watching movies?
I think what originated from loving indulging content and a want to create my own started with in like year 12 when like I had no idea what I was going to do, and then a film competition came up and I was like, you know what, I'm going to give it a go, and I did. It was fun. I made a really good project. I didn't win anything, but I think that was probably the eye opener. I was like, okay, this could actually be something really good.
Nice.
Hmm.
Oh, when was it? At school? High school?
Yeah, it was at high school when it happened as well. And it was quite abrupt as well because I could have possibly been a scientist, but I had a revelation, especially across my less than successful ATAR as well.
No way. Tell me that story, if it's not too
Yeah,
personal. Like
no, I
real
can say a
revelation?
little bit like it was a revelation. Like I did really well until I entered year 11 and 12, where ATAR becomes really important, and then all the work and there's all the like hard work really hit me. I'm like, whoa, this is a lot. And then I actually did have enough to enter into engineering if I wanted to, like at the end of the
Yeah.
year 12 and once
Okay.
I did all the final exams. But yeah, I chose to do this project because I feel like this is something I can genuinely enjoy and still make a lot of money off of because, of course, that still
Uh,
matters.
yeah. Okay. So what's the biggest enjoyment of it?
Seeing a project come to life, something, seeing an idea you've only visualized in your head for so long, you repeat it, you work with someone else on it for a while, and then you finally start seeing it in action. And when it actually works, it's like, oh my god, this is the greatest feeling in the world. Like
And that's
it's a
mine.
long
Like I did it.
yeah, I did it, it's me. And like I think when I work on myself, it's all like, oh, I did it myself. I didn't need anything else to help with. Both film production, it's like we all work together, create this amazing project where all of our
Hmm.
ideas just came together in the best way
Yeah.
possible. And that revelation came with my capstone, which I'm still working on, but the progress we've made is immense.
Yeah.
Like I said, it
Okay.
used to
Cool.
like I
If
said, it
you,
used to be sorry. Like I said, it used to be just a glorified portfolio piece before I entered into the call.
yeah.
And I helped turn it into a proper short film that has meaning to it now.
Wait. So, but you, and you actually, it took some convincing, right? I guess to the people you
This
worked
was at the
with.
course of
Yeah,
like
and they
three
believed
months,
you.
yeah. Yeah, and considering I was like the only person on that crew as well, like at least like the major roles on that crew,
Yep.
um, it definitely took a bit of convincing, but and a bit of time and talking and a bit of arguing, but yeah, we managed to create a story we're all happy
No, but
on,
also like
and
it take, taking up like more responsibilities, obviously. Yeah, so you have
yeah.
to spend more of your time and maybe kind of research and upskill yourself in certain areas. Was it
Mm.
challenging too?
It was challenging because I had to adapt what I originally thought of what my original skills in production. I had to adapt that towards animation, towards the animation students who were more experienced in post production. They had done like green screens and VFX before, but they
Hmm.
had no idea how to get from A to B. It's a
Yeah,
way. It's I
get it.
describe it as they had an idea, but it's all jumbled. Let me help
Yeah,
put it into a straight line, so it's actually like comprehensible for both
sure.
them and the audience when we make it.
Yeah, yeah, makes sense. And do you think when you were convincing people you worked with that, hey, we have to turn it into like a complete story, do you think they listen to you because you're passionate about it?
I think they listened to it because they were keen. Because they listened to it because I think they were also very unsure what they were doing. I think when originally they put it out as an idea to be like it'd be nice to at least get through this because on the base level it's about blowing up Perth City. That's all we want. We just want to take Perth City and just VFX it so it just blows up, and that's funny. But with
Yeah,
that, they were very unsure how to get there without it being just a portfolio piece, I guess. And I think when I joined, I was
sure.
like, there is a lot we can do with this, and there's a lot of different directions we can go with this. And slowly but surely, as the weeks went
Yeah.
by, we refined ideas. I created scripts, we created story progresses. We realized, oh, this is a key part of film. This is a key part of the film, and we'll do this. This is how to go along. Let's get a storyboard artist so we can actually get the shots in order. And yeah,
Cool. So now it's actually a real film that will go into, I
yes.
don't know, a competition or
It'll go
festival or
like it'll
something
go
like that.
online into like film competitions and film festivals. I guess if we're lucky, but I think like the fact that it's created it all,
Yeah.
it's pretty impressive, honestly.
Nice. Okay, I'm looking forward to
Hmm.
it. Awesome. Where do you see yourself like in the future? Like, do you wanna be a cameraman? Like, do you have a set like profession that you already convinced you'll be doing?
I do want to end up as a cinematographer, or what is widely known as the director of photography. And their roles are basically
Yeah.
working with the director to help establish both the visual identity and help figure out how to actually film that. Like we have
Yeah.
this, how are we gonna actually gonna film it? At least without consulting the VFX team.
Mhm.
And with that, there's an
Wait,
entire
isn't
sub
that executive producer?
executive producers like overlooks like the whole project. Producers and executive producers fund the project, so basically they overlook the whole project. That's their job, and yes, they can be
Yeah.
involved with that. But I think when it comes to at least like who is involved, at least in this specific area, before sending the information to like the director and the
Yeah.
producers, they help kind of sort with that. And with that, there's like
So
all
you
the
will be
sub
in charge of.
branches. Hmm?
Uh huh.
Sorry, you go first. I'm sorry.
Sorry, go on.
So
Yeah. Sorry,
and
it's a
with
bit of delay.
yeah, yeah. But with cinematography, there's also like the entire sub branch of like everyone else beneath the cinematographer who's like the camera assistant who actually like mans the camera and who like orders the next shots, and you have the camera grip, You have the grip who deals with like the camera movements, setting it up, stuff like that. You have the
Mhm.
focus puller, the clapper, make sure that every clip is in sync. You have the gaffers as well, all the lighting equipment crew and all the equipment, all of this, all of that, and they all are the subclass of that. My plan is to slowly reach through as much of that hierarchy as possible and experience much as I can, I guess.
Yep. Wow. Yeah. Oh, that was actually my question. I was going to ask about like the lighting. So it kind of goes under that, but nothing to do with sound. Sound
No,
engineering is totally different.
totally different.
Hmm.
They have their own
The
crews,
sound is
their
made
own
in the
equipment.
room after, anyway. Yeah.
Actually, no. A lot of it can be made in the room after, but at least for reference, they actually come in and record it. There are actually proper procedures they work with the crew in order to make sure they get their film without intruding. They do this thing called frame of reference, where like
Yeah.
the camera person will actually say, "This is the frame. Just keep on dropping your mic until you're in frame," and then we'll tell you, "Hey, you can't enter this frame," and then the sound person will work around that. There are like procedures in place in order to work with these sound engineers.
Yeah. But it's a crappy sound anyway. Like, but they can only use it for reference. It's
They
not
can.
useful. But they have to like record it over it on top of it, right?
Actually, I say at least reference because large majority of the time maybe they don't
Mhm.
have enough time to like redo the shot or record it again later. But you'd be surprised the amount of work a sound engineer can take like original clip, original like audio, get rid of the background noise, make it sound crisp and concise, stuff like
Ah.
that. They can even do stuff on set that maximizes them like getting as much
Wow.
range of sound as possible, including calling
Yeah.
rolling speed and make sure the entire set is quiet. The reason a film set is quiet is because we need those sound people to get as much sound as possible, like so they have as much to
Mm,
work with in
okay.
post. They hardly ever record again because then you have to work with syncing that audio with whatever you have to do, and that's a pain, as I can only imagine. So
Wait. So okay, so take an average, I don't know, a Hollywood movie. How much of the sound in that movie would be original sound, percentage wise?
uh I really couldn't tell you. At least like 50% has to be original sound because you have to have the original.
Wow.
You also like you have the voice recording. You have some onset foley. What a sound engineer will also do is like they'll take like a minute or like even 10 minutes of ambient sound from the set. They'll just call for everyone to be quiet for like a minute or two, and then they'll just let the recording equipment go, and they'll just record the scene around them, and then put that in the background because they're going to remove the background sound
Yeah.
from the audio from the original audio anyway, and then they can add the ambient on
Ah.
top. Work with it, adjust it.
Wow.
Of course, Foley is different. They have to do Foley in post, like all your hits and sounds, crunches and whatnot. You have to do that in post. But a lot more of it is
Yeah,
done
yeah,
on
of course.
set. A lot more of what's recorded on set and even done on set is still used in post.
Yeah. Like the spoken word. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Cool. Well, you know a lot about movies so far. Yeah.
And I know enough.
Definitely reveals your passion. Yeah, it definitely reveals your passion. Like, did you watch a lot of movies? Like, are you a cinema addict in a
I
way?
not as much as I really should be, if I'm being honest. Like I've seen a fair bit of films, but I really not as much as I've seen others watch films, if I'm being honest, and I'm not sure whether that helps or hinders my ability to do what I do. I do watch a lot of media
Mhm.
though, like stuff
Uh,
online I indulge in, so maybe that counts. We'll see.
yeah. Did you watch Spaceballs?
I have heard of Spaceballs. I have seen a lot of things. I'm very keen on watching that.
Oh, you haven't watched Spaceballs?
No, I haven't.
Because it's funny that in that movie you see why I remembered, because uh, you can see the film crew. They're like fighting on the light swords, and then like the camera moves and catches the guy, like I don't know, holding the lights or camera or whatever, and then he's like slashing the lights or something.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Like, and they use it like throughout the movie several times. Or another,
Yes.
there's like a close shot going into the character, and then just the camera just
Boom.
knocks him knocks him over. You know,
Yeah.
it's like so bizarre. Like they and then so he slashed somebody, and the guy kind of fell off the ladder, like the film, like a light crew or somebody fell off the
Mm.
ladder, and then they both say he did it into
He
the
did it.
camera.
Yeah.
So it's so funny that you can kind of go, you're within the movie, and then you go outside of the movie and make a joke like that.
Spoof
Yeah.
movies are lovely sometimes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, what do you think about podcasting and all of these new? Like there is a lot of video material getting
Mm.
dumped on us or like online. Yeah. Right now, how do
Mm.
you see that evolving? And like, do you appreciate it? Do you like this new formats and TikTok? Like
Yeah.
and huge like Joe Rogan 3 hour interviews. What do you think
Mm.
of how it's all evolving?
I think the way it's evolving, at least like the system in place. It's very open and it's very accessible, is what I'm going to say. Because stuff like TikTok and these short form contents allow these podcasts, which allow to talk about literally anything they want on any subject in various specific minutes and reach to a wider audience through not only releasing their like hour long contests for people who like maybe put on the background or watch it or whatnot. The video having a, I think what helps nowadays is that having that visual, like having the visual at all, like makes it 100 times more engaging for literally anyone. Like if you want anything to work, you
Yeah.
just make it so an audience sees it. There's a rule in film called show don't tell, and that is why, because a person is more
Uh,
likely to, like, if they see it, it'll click in their mind a little bit faster. And I think what
yeah.
also helps with the system is it also allows these creators to take their long form content, take the best pieces of it, and then selectively release those out to like the short form, which is also designed to be quick, precise, just move as fast as you can so you can obtain much information you want, which is a downside, but it's also an amazing marketing strategy as well. And I think that also releases to
Mhm.
a wider audience because then you can, rather than appealing to just the people who watch your hour long contents, and that's going to be limiting because not everyone has a patience for 3 hours, even if they're doing something. You can also have a subset of audience specifically tailored to your short form content as well, regardless of what that
Yeah.
short form content is. And I think that is like so, it makes it so free and flexible as well.
Yeah, and I see now like interim format as well. Yeah. So like not the shorts, but also like 10-minute clips
Yeah.
out of 3 hour interview with Joe Rogan. Yeah.
Mm.
So it's like there's now like the new formats of like portraying or delivering the message now pop up, and they're mostly driven now by I think those platforms like YouTube, like
Mm.
did a lot to drive those things. Like when they release this feature called Shorts, of course, people start shooting shorts, and now obviously also you can speed up. Yeah, so a lot of times, a lot of interviews, if they're a little bit boring, like I just listen them faster.
Mm.
1.25 or 1.5, because I value my time, and I think a lot of people do that too. Um, yeah, so obviously I'm going into that space. I don't know why nobody is doing it in HR in hiring. I think it's just common sense because, as you say, yeah, so you have to see the person before you hire,
Yeah.
and that's what interviews are for. So recording them will definitely save a lot of time, and then you can do like small clips and whatever.
Mm.
Um, yeah, so I think that's also like everything will be visual basically. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't see now with the bandwidth advancing. I don't see what not what will still stay on paper or just audio.
Mm. Yeah.
AI
It's
is going visual too, so
yeah, as worrying as that is.
Yeah. Do you think we are far away from those deep fakes, like when they could be so accessible
No,
that you can't
I'm going to be
distinguish?
completely
No.
honest. We're not close for a very long time. I mean, people will still use them, and people will still say, "Oh, it's still great," but in reality, it's really not. And yeah, if I elaborate, I'm probably going to ramble for hours. But I'm just going to say it's probably not going to be as relevant as at least people say it is for a while. It'll be like included
Okay.
maybe here or there or
Okay.
something like that.
Yeah. No, but maybe you're talking from professional perspective, right? So
Yes.
you will be able to judge, but some people, when the quality is like low resolution, like you really don't know what you're looking
Hmm.
at, if it's like synthetic or if it's real. Yeah.
In that case,
But
that's up
also I
to
think we are.
the quality of the, and in that case, that's up to the quality of the person, I guess.
Yeah, but and also I think in terms of judging the videos, because we already like trained our brains on so many videos, we can already know what to expect and what's fake, what's not fake, so that people's awareness, like uh, there is like this famous, like very very old, like first recording of people running away from the cinema because the train was approaching
Oh
on
yeah,
the
yeah.
screen. Yeah, so. Since then we already saw so many videos, so we now kind of already well educated in video formats
Mhm.
and what's possible, what's not, what's real, what's not. So I don't think it will be that easy to trick even the layman.
Yeah. Here's the issue though, because AI is good for people who want something really quickly and then to get that done really quickly. But I think when it comes to quality control, it becomes a little bit problematic
Hmm.
because I'll use two examples. First, like I'll say you want to create a code and they create a code, and then you'll ask it again. You say, "Hey, can you make this code so it does this something slightly better? Like maybe change it so you take check of these values, or you do this if statement." But then it'll give you a different set of code. But it's like, no, just give me this code, but just add stuff like this on top and integrate it some way. But no, just give me a
Hmm.
different set of code. And I think when it comes to like more of the visual stuff, there was an example where it was like there's supposed to be a render of like a forest or something like that, and they employed these AI people, and this guy was like, "Hey, okay, create this forest." Then they created this forest. It's like, okay, take this forest and add something to it. But then when they went to the AI and it went back into it, it's completely different. And they're like, "No,
Yeah.
just give me this forest, but add this in it instead." But every time they kept doing it,
Mm.
it just sucked. And in that
Yeah.
story, it ended up with those AI prompters being sent out because of that
Yeah.
problem. And I think that fundamental problem is what prevents AI from truly taking over
Yeah.
creative media as a whole. It'll take over like the lower end stuff and like the
Yeah.
oops, sorry,
No
like
worries.
the like less important and lower man jobs, like I'd say, and
Yeah,
least
so the funny videos, basically funny videos
yeah,
where you can
funny
just
videos.
sketch it and just make it a meme. Yeah.
And also just
No.
jobs for like stuff you don't want to do, like something
Yeah.
what I will understand is like you doing stuff for jobs you don't want to do, like you want to make a concept but you can't draw, just do it in AI and then you can send it to an artist saying, hey, I want it like this, but of course like not in AI. And that's something which I think is very good about AI because of how quick it is. You get something you want roughly where you want quite
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah. Yeah, and for sketching it's perfect, just
Mm.
explaining what the end result should look like roughly. But the fine, like, I know what you're saying actually. I think with it's partly because AI is like too creative,
Mm.
so you have to kind of constrain, and then it's kind of exponentially hard to, like, you just explain in two words and it gets it and it does it its way. But then if you need to specify it and provide specifics, you have to end up like writing so much text in a prompt, then like it defeats the purpose like to account
Yeah,
like exactly for how you want to see it.
it almost
It's
takes more
almost
time writing
impossible.
into that prompt than it does writing it yourself.
Exactly. Yeah, 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 yeah. So the prompt becomes the actual result. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay, so we established where you want to be. like in the future, um, how about like, do you see a path? Like, is there a path laid out for you how to achieve that? Like, do you know that, okay, so for the next 2 years I will be working on like a film crew, I don't know, and then I will progress to that, and then that, and then
Mm.
uh, is there a like clear ladder up all the way to where you want to be?
Not in my case, and I think that's only my problem. If I was going to speak generally, you would have to like create connections with people, take up as many like offers you're willing to take, I guess, and then
Hmm.
slowly but surely you'll meet with people. Those people, if you work well with those people, they'll remember you, and then they'll bring you onto another project, and then that
Yeah.
person will bring you to another project, and that project, and then the projects get larger and larger and larger until you start like becoming into more substantial roles. And of course, you have to start, uh, and sometimes you have to start just sweeping trash off the ground for little to no pay after like a
Hmm.
film set. So it's a thing I remember hearing. Like an actor was like, and he had his actor and his parents were actors. And then when he said, "I want to enter the industry," he was him, his mum got on the phone, talked to someone, and he said, "Okay, pack your lunch. You're going to sweep floors tomorrow." And just simple beginnings like that helps you just connect with people, and then that helps you get into better jobs. That's a problem for me because I'm not very social.
Ah, yeah, no, but you
Yeah.
will be valued for your you'll be valued for your skills,
Mm,
right? Rather than for I don't. I think actors more like looks and how they
mm,
appeal to you, like like Harvey Weinstein stories and stuff like that. How they make their way up through the like through
mm.
the bed and everything. Um, but for the crew, I think it's like black and white. Like you have the skills, like you just show your portfolio or like which movies you were in, and then you would be invited. No.
I imagine it's actually not really like that. I imagine it's more, like I said, if you work better with one person and and especially with filmmaking, you have to work with these people. And if you bring on a person who's maybe clearly better, but you do not work as well with them, like that's going to be a
Mm,
huge offer. And maybe the project suffers because of that. You're better off hiring someone you know you
trusted.
can work
Yeah.
well with and understands your vision. And that's where like that stuff matters. You can have the skill, and that's a good
Yeah.
prerequisite to have, but you have to blend with whoever you're
I
working
get it.
under.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. So it's like you have to live through some movies challenges, to
Mm,
build a rapport, and so the person can trust you, and you kind of guess what they want, and you
mm.
guess it right over time. Yeah. So does it mean that you have to kind of stick with some kind of some a director or somebody, and it's like almost like lifelong synergy relationships?
You can, but it's not necessary. I mean, I'm sure it makes it easier, especially if you both succeed. You have like Wes Anderson getting the same actors and the same cinematographer every time because they just understand how his filmmaking works. Same with Tarantino. Same with all the other major directors. They always have the same people, but you don't have to work that way.
Yeah.
uh, it's like I said, they've worked with that person for a long while. They know how good they are, and they know that they can match his vision if they need to be.
Yeah. Okay.
So I
But you can at the same
guess,
time you can, and it's all project based anyway, so it's
yeah,
you're kind of commissioned for the project, and
mm,
then you're off to something else anyway. Yes, it's not like your constant job like in a company, you can work
mm,
15 years the same company, go to the same office, same
mm,
cubicle. It's
yeah.
nowhere like that.
I think the only time this doesn't apply is when you get into like more of the maybe more of the technical roles or the lower end roles, like cameras, like the camera operators and the gaffers. They are more technical in what they do. Mostly they're less in the creative roles and more like they take what the cinematographer tells them and they say, okay, let's apply it in this way because that's how the camera slash lighting works. And in that case, I know I can probably join a few like film studios that are around Perth, something like that, and then they have like a procedure. They get hired onto a project. Like let's say there's a lighting company. Like they'll have like lights. They have lights. They have equipment. They have stands. They have a truck to transport it. And they get hired out by crew to say, "Hey, come here, do our lighting by our rules." And they'll say that. And then I'll maybe join them to set up these lights because I know how to set up the lights.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
Mm,
I had just this weekend they were shooting something 2 blocks away from us. and we were just driving by, and I even took my daughter back to show her. There was so much crew, like there were trucks and trucks and trucks, and it was
Yeah.
just a house because it looked like an alien house. Like, yeah, everyone, you would look at that house, it's like a, slab of concrete with like
Mm,
a little window like this below it.
mm,
Just like a big box of concrete without any windows, and it's just like a smiley looking like window below, and then you can't see because there is a fence,
mm.
and they were just going in and out that house as like it looks so futuristic. Of course they would be filming in that house, but I was just like, I was surprised how many people were around, like they even had like road signs, and then they had toilets on trailers, and like wires everywhere,
Yeah, it's a
so
lot
many
of
people.
people that can like accumulate over time, and it's like I haven't worked on a film set that big yet, but
Yeah,
yeah, like consider that, and that's probably like a low end trailer as well, or like a short film. Imagine that on like Mad Max scales. Like, there's a reason you have to fit like two or three soundtrack songs at the end of like the end titles because of how many people you got to work on that.
yeah, yeah. But I'm wondering why still, because now even on my iPhone I have 4K camera, so the
Yeah.
equipment gets smaller, and like it's all getting, I don't know, microphones pick up noise
Mm.
better, like, and like why do you still need huge lighting equipment? You still need so much crew. Like, I thought it would
Um,
be more simplified now.
you can make it more simplified, but sometimes a light works in a specific way you can't. Maybe it shoots maybe just a little bit brighter than before. It can hold like specific panels that like diffuse the light, spread it out, dim it, light it. It works. It operates in a specific way that your gaffer knows fits your scene. And also with cameras specifically, even though your phone can shoot at 4K, it does have a problem, and that problem involves what colors it shoots. It shoots at a
Yeah.
set color because that's how it's rendered inside of the camera. A cinema
Hmm.
camera is designed to shoot as much color as possible with as many spaces, and they do this by rendering in this format called RAW,
Hmm.
.raw, and that RAW folder is it looks gray, but it is essentially designed to pull out
Yeah.
as much color as you want in the scene, and that's something your phone can't do yet. And plus that takes
Yeah.
like a lot of processing power in order to take upwards from 4 to 12 to 24K footage. Sorry.
Wow.
But like and then plus shoot that at not just at 24, sometimes 60, sometimes 120, sometimes 240 frames per second to get your slow-mo
Yeah.
footage down. And sometimes your phone can do slow mo, but not at the extent either a film camera, but at the same time, not at the quality, at the depth,
Yeah.
or at the processing speed, because these cameras are bulky because they're essentially large computers. They
Hmm. Hmm.
you get close to one of them after running for a while, they are they are hot. They
They're
get
hot.
really warm. Yeah,
Yeah.
they get like that's the format of which they film at is not only
Yeah.
massive file size, but it's
Mm.
also massive like on the processor itself. And then you need someone to handle that camera, know how the camera works, know which lens to put on the camera, know how to
Yeah.
move that camera, how to set up that camera, and then someone to take the storage, process the storage, have a previs, like put it on a monitor so the director can look at it. Like the reason you have so many
Mm.
people because each people has a specific purpose, and rather than put all those jobs into one person, you're better off like putting it onto multiple people, and thus you make it go faster, especially if they know
Sure.
what they're doing. You
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
definitely cut down if you want to,
Mhm.
but sometimes if you have the budget, people will assign the smaller roles to people who like are specifically designed for that, and they'll still turn out better because that person was on that role.
Sure. Makes sense. Yeah. And I guess it's all driven by demand. Yeah, because people want to see more better quality picture, and now, as you said, slow motion.
Mm.
Yeah. So yeah, and you have, and it kind of drives the spiral up. Yeah. So nobody wants to see just a crappy simple. Actually, no. I think I there was like a art house or something, a movie about like art house cinema. There was a guy who like specifically makes the poor quality videos as if they were
Hmm.
filmed like in the back days.
Hmm.
uh, uh, yeah.
I guess you
um,
can definitely succeed with low quality. I think I think there's two sides to kind of that. You definitely can record at low quality. You also have to. I think the two things is like it's both based on your artistic intentions and then also whether your audience can really like comprehend why you're using it and whether it's like straining their eyes a little bit. There's a reason the Blair
mhm.
Witch Project works so well. It's because it abuses its poor quality to its advantage to make it as scary as possible. Like it works because it's low quality and thus it looks authentic in that regard.
Haven't seen it. What is it, like a thriller movie? What is it?
It is an hour long horror movie famous for shooting with with a quality that's akin to a 2012 phone camera,
Oh
at least
wow.
nowadays. And yeah,
Yeah.
it was filmed in really bad quality, but but the filmmakers did such a good job, and the reason they
Yeah.
filmed in that format is because they couldn't afford any higher
Yeah.
like great cameras. They couldn't afford the high quality film. They had to just film what they had, and with what they had, they made it as scary as possible because they established
Yeah.
a horror film trope where like because it
So
looks like it was filmed with a camera, it looks
mhm.
like it's real.
Yeah. Do you think um, it was the director that like that made it possible, or it was actually the cameraman?
Both, actually. I mean,
Hmm.
it's the director may have set up the scenes and told her where to go, but that cameraman has to interpolate that movement. That director can do the camera movements, but if you hire someone who specifically knows how a camera should move, like you have like really tough and strong men who like arm like all the stabilizer cameras because they know
Hmm.
how to specifically move and alter so the camera gets as much dynamic movement as possible, but also staying gyroscopically stable as well. And that's the impressive, and that stuff's
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah.
You you
So
can do
even
it.
the
You
crappy,
can. Sorry, you go.
yeah. So even a crappy camera in the hands of a professional would impress with the end
Yeah.
result.
Yes.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
mean, given editor a bunch of given editor clips, and based on his skill, he will turn it into either just whatever you tell him, or he'll go beyond and he'll say, "This is how it should be shot in order to get this point across," and I'll use these effects and these things and stuff like that.
Yeah. I was talking to a long time ago. I was talking to a professional musician, like who
Mm,
plays in the orchestra, and I was like teasing him. Oh, why can't I like? What can I do to like learn my hearing, like teach my hearing? So I can maybe like hear better the individual instruments, or like pick on the mistakes. And he said, "You don't want to do that because I'm cursed for life now because I can't enjoy music because all I'm hearing is mistakes, mistakes, mistakes."
Oh
And
no!
I was like, so now I pivoted towards you. Like when you're watching some moving picture, whatever it is, do you like? Can you actually enjoy the movie, or you just say, "Ah, shit, that was a
I can enjoy the
shitty
movie, but
angle.
if
It
I spend
was
some
out of
time to
focus."
focus, like I could see, like I could process how it's made. It's just like God damn it! I just want to enjoy the movie. I don't want to look at why it was made. I just want to say like how it is. Like of course, wow, they used this shot. Wow, they used this shot. This works well because it communicates this. I'm just like stop, just enjoy it. And on the other
Wow.
side, when I work on personal projects, I am a perfectionist, and which means I look
Mhm.
at my projects not in the greatest light at times. And then when I release it in what I think is a primitive state, it gets really well received. And I'm just sitting here wondering, like, wow, I like this reception. It's all good. But this looks like garbage. Because, like, to me, it looks like garbage because I see all the mistakes and the bad timings and the horrible
Yeah.
rendering that I've created for my project. But they
Mhm.
don't see that. They just see how it goes together. It's just like, so yeah, I definitely relate to your friend in that way because it's like I see the mistakes, I see the process,
Yeah.
and
It Yeah, it also reminds me of, when you're performing something.
mm,
Usually, when you perform and you rehearse something, especially if you usually like performances are done to the people who are kind of less skilled. So
mm,
people who are less skilled will go to listen to somebody who is more skilled, Majority, yeah. Of course, there will be sound producer who can judge, but most of the people, they don't understand, like they don't notice like small issues or anything, And so when you perform, you kind of, when you make mistakes, you just like, oh shit, another mistake and another mistake.
Mm.
So you kind of more um self, I guess, critical, yeah. But
Mm.
then you go out in the crowd and talk to them, and they say, "Oh no, it was great," and you say, "Yeah, but I did mistake there." Oh, really? It was a mistake? I didn't notice.
And I think after enough time, you realize like it's better if you just keep that to yourself because it kind of like brings down the mood a little bit.
Exactly.
Like you're better off letting a person enjoy it, I guess, unless they specifically ask like, "Wait, like how was this made?" and stuff like that. And then you can elaborate on it. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. True, true. Yeah. Yeah, because it's for entertainment anyway.
yeah.
Okay, cool. Anything else you wanted to say? Like, what's yeah, about yourself professionally?
No, no. I think I've explained everything I wanted to.
Yeah. I wanna ask you, because what I wanna create out of this project is, it's gonna be obviously like a platform where like interviews and other content will be residing. Yeah.
Mm.
So I already envision for, let's say, software developers. Yeah. After the behavioral interview, we can record, if the person wants to, we can record like a screencast, where they
Mm.
would be coding live, and when they do this, they could be judged by like a hiring manager or like other developers. Um, like, do they have the right skills? Are they quick? How they how they talk to what they're coding. How they use AI. To assist themselves and stuff like that. Uh, in your profession, I'm just wondering. It just crossed my mind, if we were to do like another episode of this, to go in depth in like what you did before, like your skills, would it
Mm.
be something like you talking about what you just described, like you're showing your movie, and then you're saying, oh, you see this angle, I decided to do it this way because of this and
Mm.
that. You see here, this shot was like that because of this, and this was a mistake. What do you think?
I think that's definitely a format. I think that's definitely a format I can do. I uh, I would say I probably don't have enough distography. If that's the way, like distography, in order to properly like go into depth with a lot of things. I haven't made a lot, so I haven't been a part of a lot so far. So
Oh, and then nobody expects, you're still in the uni. Come on.
yeah.
But I think the way you talked about it so far, like it's already like telling me, maybe it doesn't tell me about your skills because I don't see any like artifacts or anything, right? But it
Mm.
definitely tells me that you know that stuff, that you researched it, like you lived through it already, you passionate about it. And that's what a lot of times is important, when people deciding, okay, who we want to pick, for our crew.
Mm.
um so yeah, interesting. So I think I got another idea how to for the in-depth video for this profession. So far, I think I set my mind. I already envision how it will be for software developer, for designer, obviously, because they can just
Yep.
design real time.
Mm.
Videographer talking about their project. Um, yeah, we'll see what's next.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks again for doing this. It was a pleasure talking to you. As always, I'm learning a lot. It was worth going into this kind of podcasting, because
Yeah, it was quite fun.
simply because of learning so much. And yeah, hopefully it will be beneficial for you also, because you exhibit your skills, obviously.
Mm.
Hope will right people will maybe see it, and maybe you will continue climbing that ladder you want to climb,
Hopefully.
reaching the very top. Who is your ultimate, maybe the last question, who is your ultimate like hero that you look up to, like who is the god of camera?
God, I don't know. There's so many I could say. if I was going to be a pretentious filmmaker, I would say Wes Anderson because oh golly gee, Wes Anderson is so creative and artistic with his style. But I would,
It tells nothing to me, by the way. So tell
yeah,
me
no,
the movie.
it'll
Which
make
movie?
sense. Wes Anderson is just the director of stuff like Fantastic Mr. Fox. Let's see, Fantastic Mr. Fox. That was this. Oh God, I can't remember any movie.
Wait, wait. Fantastic Mr. Fox is the drone one. Yeah, like it's like
The
a drone.
the claymation one actually.
Not
The stop
familiar.
motion animation, the stop motion animation one. He also did the Grand Budapest Hotel. That was a
Yeah, yeah,
great
yeah, yeah,
one.
yeah. Wait,
Yeah,
wait. So isn't this like Indian paintbrush? That kind of there's like a paintbrush something. It's like production studio or something.
yeah, that's him. Yeah, that's probably him. And then there's
Yeah,
also
yeah,
like
yeah.
the French
They have
Dispatch
like
and
they have their own style of like
yeah,
making the picture just so like it's real, but it's like unreal. Yeah, the
yeah.
Budapest Hotel I really like.
And Wes Anderson leads that.
Ah, okay. Well, then that's a good pick, I would say.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
I was
that's
thinking.
pretty cool. And what?
There's these
Well,
there were these. I think there was. If I was going to take a different director, though, I'd probably take these two brothers. I'll get their name later, but they created this film called Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I know. I
That
watched that
one,
movie. Yep.
yes. So you know what I'm talking about then, and
Yep.
they are probably ones that I look up to because they actually kind of originated more where I came from, like people who created stuff online and then took that knowledge of engagement and specific like videography and then
Yep.
apply it to a mainstream audience. Like the editing and the story and everything else about everything all at once, it's just a phenomenal.
Wow. Yeah.
Love that
Yeah.
film.
It
It's
was.
so good.
Yeah. I remember it kind of kept me on the edge of my seat. Yeah. A bit.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Okay. Well, thanks for this interview, and yeah, look forward working with you in the future.
Thank you very much. I look forward to working for you.
Thanks, mate. Okay. Cheers. See ya.
Cheers. Bye.